Hi everyone. A lot of my customers are on a bit of a journey to save money, and one of those ways is by reducing any takeaway that you are purchasing. So this afternoon I wanted to show you my favourite green curry paste. I usually use the red Thai curry recipe, curry chicken, that's in the basic cookbook. And I do use the red Thai curry paste, but I occasionally swap it out for green Thai curry paste. Now I have some shallots and a bit of a sad old bunch of coriander that needs using up. So I didn't want to waste those ingredients, so I'm going to try and use those this afternoon and making the green Thai curry paste. And so let's get going. I do like to cook from my week. Everyone has their own ways. I like to say to people when I'm delivering their Thermomixes that there are lots of ways to save and to find your recipes. So you'll find the way that you like best. So once I've gone into my week, I call up my recipe and then it start cooking. So I go through the list. Again, it depends on what kind of cook you are as to how you'll do this. The Thermomix won't change the way you cook. You determine how it's all going to happen. So I like to follow down the list, get everything out, particularly when I'm doing something like this. I don't want to make you just sit there while I collect all the ingredients. So I've got everything pretty ready to go. And so all I have to do is press start cooking. So it's talking about getting clean containers ready to go. That's the first step, because it does step you all the way through everything. I haven't done that yet because I'm still deciding whether I'm going to use glass jars or I'm going to put it into some Ziploc bags and into the freezer. So I'm going to skip that step. Then it's asking me to start adding the ingredients. Now, one of the ingredients was ground cumin, coriander seeds, which I didn't have any. I only had whole coriander seeds. So what I do then, because I only ever buy a big packet of coriander seeds and then I grind it down as I need it. So what I've done, I've just milled my coriander seeds, and I reckon I've probably got about a half a teaspoon of coriander in there. So I haven't cleaned out the bowl. I'm just going to go straight ahead and start adding the other ingredients, and then I'll take account of that when I've got to add the coriander. So in go it's asking for 6 green chilies. So they're in, cut in half, tops off, cut in half. Some spring onions, so these ones are looking a little bit sad. They need to be used up. So that's hence why I started this recipe. Otherwise they could have gone into the freezer, but it's a different consistency then. Some coriander, and again, something I needed to use up. Press next, and then the stalks of some lemongrass. So I usually get this out of my garden, but I've moved house, so I didn't have any in this garden, so I need to resurrect that. And some kaffir lime leaves, which I'm very excited about. I now have kaffir lime in the garden, so that's great. I usually can find someone with it and grab a few leaves and stick them in the freezer. They last really well in your freezer. So now here I've got shrimp paste, I've got ground cumin, which I've only added the smaller amount, 2 teaspoons of coriander, in they go, and then in goes garlic, and then I've just got some fish sauce, so 2 to 4 teaspoons of fish sauce. So I think I'll go the 4. Some people are not a fan of fish sauce, but I find that it does kind of add a fair bit of interesting, it's hard to detect flavour. I was going to tell you something about that. Oh, that's right, measuring. So I normally just go glug glug, but when I'm making, so I don't always measure everything out. But when I'm making something like this, that is hard to balance the flavours, then I do measure. So if that was just asking me for oil to saute on, I wouldn't worry about measuring, getting a tablespoon, I just pour it in. Okay, so then there's some peanut oil, in that goes, and then the lid on, and off we go. So we've got 30 seconds on speed 9. pretty sure that's the first chop. Now you can hear that my Thermomix only rings 3 times, or maybe 4. So if you wanted, then it stops. If you haven't got yours set on that, then you can just tap on the screen and it will stop, or go into settings and turn your the sounds down to a shorter period of time. Okay, so here's that's the chop so far. So let's see what it asks me to do. Scrape down the sides. So I find it easier just to go from top to bottom. You may have a different technique. Whatever's easiest for you is the right way. Okay, let's have a look at next. Okay, so measuring cup and lid on. Now I do tend to scrape the lid down so that I can get most of the ingredients chopped a second time. So there we go with that. And then next, and off we go, it's another 30 seconds. From the sound that it's not always chopping, so it's throwing the food up and then those little rivets in the side are pushing it back down, but it takes a little bit to fall back down. So here we go. I'll just show you the lid to see what you expect on the top of the lid. We'll just scrape most of that off again and back into the bowl, and then that is our green curry paste done, which I'll show you in 2 seconds. Oops, spilling it all over the place here. Okay, so that is ready to go now. And so it's ready to go into a container or small Ziploc bags. So it just depends on how you want to store it. That's about the consistency. You can see that nice and closely. So that's about what you want it to get. But if you wanted it to be a little bit finer, you can just use your back arrows and go for another 30 seconds. That won't hurt it. So I will use that, as I said, in the red Thai curry paste chicken. Red Thai curry chicken out of the basic cookbook, and just sub out the red curry paste for the green curry paste, and it's delicious. So what I'm doing is making a beautiful meal at home that's restaurant or takeaway quality, but I'm not paying the price for that. So the amount of food you'll get in the same, well, less price is at least 2 takeaway containers. So you'll be saving money in that. And often when you get takeaway, you end up spending, $60, $70. So if you could cut out that amount or replace that amount and have that money in your pocket, then you'll be better off, I'll be better off too. So I want to try and save that money if I can. May not be all the time for you, but just some of the time if you can save that money. Okay, that's my red curry paste. It's on Cookidoo, green curry paste on Cookidoo, and I'll post the link below so that you can find it and have a go. And I'd love to hear what you think of it. Thanks, bye.